What secret still ties Song Joong-ki to Song Hye Kyo after everything ended? Years have passed since their whirlwind romance came to a heartbreaking end. Yet something quietly remains a habit, a connection, an action that Song Joong-ki still carries out involving Song Hye Kyo. What could it possibly be? Why hasn't he let go of this one thing? And how did no one notice until now? The emotional truth has finally surfaced, sending shock waves through the fandom. Join us as Red Carpet Revealed uncovers the hidden thread still binding two of Korea's most iconic stars. When Song Joong-ki and Song Hye Kyo announced their divorce in 2010, it sent shockwaves across Asia. Fans were devastated, tabloids exploded, and speculations ran wild. Once considered the fairy tale couple of Korean drama royalty forged through their unforgettable roles in Descendants of the Sun, their sudden split shattered hearts and hopes everywhere. In the years that followed, both actors moved on publicly. Song Joong-ki dove into new projects, eventually finding love again and starting a family. Song Hye Kyo focused on her craft, returning to the screen with breathtaking poise. But despite the distance, the silence, and the media frenzy, one small detail, tender, human, and quietly enduring, remained hidden. Until now, a quiet habit that refused to die behind the scenes in moments far removed from the flashing cameras and public statements. Song Joong-ki continued to do one thing that shocked even those closest to him. He still calls Song Hye Kyo, not to reignite romance, not to rekindle the past, but to ask how she and her mother are doing. The revelation comes from a close associate of the actor who chose to speak under anonymity. According to them, Joong-ki never stopped checking in with quiet consistency. It's not daily or even weekly, the source says, but every now and then he makes the effort. A simple call, a few kind words, just to make sure she and her mother are well. It's an act that speaks volumes, not of lingering love in a tabloid sense, but of something perhaps deeper, unspoken respect, enduring care, and the kind of emotional maturity rarely seen in a world obsessed with scandal and spectacle. A gesture rooted in the past. What's even more surprising, he still reminds her and their mutual acquaintances to drink ginseng tea regularly. This small, seemingly trivial detail struck a chord with fans. It turns out that during their marriage, Song Joong-ki developed a firm belief in the health benefits of Korean red ginseng. It became something of a ritual between them, brewing tea in the mornings, especially before busy filming days. Song Hye Kyo's mother, who often visited, would join in. Even after the divorce, he kept telling people to look after themselves, especially Hye Kyo and her mother, the insider shared. It wasn't just an offhand remark, it was genuine. He then calls with, "Don't forget the ginseng tea." This mundane phrase, now drenched in bittersweet nostalgia, is a quiet symbol of care that lingers beyond the legal end of their relationship. A shock to the public, but a window into his soul. For a man often perceived as stoic and composed in public, this revelation has turned perceptions upside down. Fans stunned by the news have flooded social media with mixed reactions, admiration, longing, sadness, and even hope. Some comments read, "I never imagined he still cared. My heart is breaking all over again." This is the kind of man Joong-ki is. Not dramatic, but deeply loyal. It wasn't just a drama, they really were something special. But this discovery isn't about rekindling fantasies or fueling rumors of reconciliation. Rather, it's a rare glimpse into the complex emotional world of two people who once shared something real, something profound, something that couldn't be entirely severed by a signature on divorce papers. For most people, a divorce signifies an ending, a closure, a line drawn between what was and what will never be again. But for Song Joong-ki, some things seem too precious to discard. The simple act of reminding Song Hye Kyo and sometimes even her mother to drink ginseng tea isn't just about health. It's about preserving something invisible but deeply felt, a shared life, a rhythm, a gesture of care that once shaped their days. An assistant who once worked with them during their marriage revealed he used to brew the tea himself, especially when she had long shooting days. He believed it protected her voice, her energy. It was his way of saying, "I'm taking care of you even in silence." That same silence now echoes in the present. No grand gestures, no public messages, just quiet consistency. And that in itself may be the most romantic thing of all. How did this stay hidden for so long? In an era where every glance and gesture of celebrities gets dissected online, fans are stunned that such a meaningful habit remained in the shadows for years. The truth only came out after a mutual acquaintance mistakenly mentioned it in a private interview, unaware of how intimate and newsworthy the detail was. Once the truth broke, media outlets rushed to confirm the story. But Song Joong-ki's representatives remained silent, not denying, not confirming, but respecting the privacy of something that was never meant to be exposed. And in that silence, the public heard everything they needed to know. The phone calls that cross boundaries. According to insiders, the phone calls aren't frequent. Sometimes months pass without a word. But when Hye Kyo's mother was rumored to be ill last winter, Song Joong-ki was one of the first to check in. He didn't want to intrude, the source said. He just asked if she needed anything, if he could help with hospital arrangements. Quiet, respectful. And then came the now viral line, "Tell her to keep drinking her ginseng tea. It's what kept her strong before." It was a sentence that instantly resonated with fans and reignited the emotional core of a story everyone thought had ended years ago. How Song Hye Kyo reacted to date. Song Hye Kyo has never spoken about these calls. Her silence, as always, is measured, graceful, but those close to her say the gestures did not go unnoticed. She was surprised at first, a friend confided, but not shocked. Somewhere deep down, she always knew he was that kind of man. They don't talk often, they don't reminisce. But there is no bitterness, only an unspoken understanding that, while love may not have survived, kindness did. Flashbacks from a fairy tale. Rewinding the clock, one can't help but recall how deeply they were once in sync. Behind the scenes of Descendants of the Sun crew members often spoke of the way Song Joong-ki would adjust her code between takes or how she'd bring him herbal drinks when he lost his voice. Their affection wasn't performative, it was instinctual. So maybe in a way these present-day calls are not an anomaly but simply a continuation of that same instinct, just in a quieter, more mature form. The public reacts a storm of emotion. As expected, the fan response has been overwhelming. While some mourn the love that was lost, others are deeply moved by the tenderness that remains. "I'm crying. This isn't about romance. This is about respect." Song Joong-ki just taught us what post-love dignity looks like. She must have meant a lot to him, to her mom too. That never goes away. Some fans even started a viral hashtag Ginseng never lies, referring to the emotional weight of that humble drink, now turned symbol of enduring care. More than a love story, a human story. In the end, this story isn't really about Song Joong-ki and Song Hye Kyo. It's about all of us, how we navigate endings, how we carry fragments of people we once loved, and how sometimes the softest acts leave the loudest echoes. It reminds us that care doesn't always vanish when the relationship does, that you can part ways without anger, that a single sentence, "Don't forget your ginseng tea," can say more than 1,000 apologies or flowers ever could. It's a love story that didn't end in reconciliation, but it didn't end in resentment either. It simply changed shape.